My name is Alex Guberman. I'm the owner of the Salon Exclussif here in San Jose, California. Now I will talk about keeping track of your performance so you can get better and jump levels in the Summit system. You will be giving a tracker that it may be different for some salons. For example, we have modified ours a little bit so it's easier for our stylists to keep track of. But the goal is the same. The goal is for you to know exactly where you stand and how you're doing with your performance as a hairstylist. Every morning when you come to the salon, you will prepare yourself by filling out the first half of the tracker for all of the customers. You will put down the date, the name of that customer, the service that that customer is scheduled for, as well as how much money you can make with this service. Kind of the money that's kind of guaranteed to you once the stylist leaves the salon, as long as they show up for their appointment. You also want to make sure that you mark if this client is a new client, repeat client, if it was a referral, or it's a brand new client who was a walk-in or a call-in, or maybe somebody who saw your Yelp review. Now the next column is probably one of the most important columns in your career. This is the column where you will create a plan of what you're going to offer to this client. Now, if a client comes in for 2 or 3 services, you're probably not going to come out with much. But most of your clients will only come in for 1 or 2 services. And those are the clients that you need to make sure you have a plan for. And the plan is on how and what to upgrade their current service to. As you probably know, the clients who come in for just 1 service have not even thought about being able to receive another service or buy a product. This is where you have to plant a seed, and this is where you have to open their mind to the idea. For example, if a client comes in for a haircut, you will probably make $55. That's what an average price for a female haircut right now is, at least here in California. Now you can service that client and send them on their way and make the $55 and go back to the break room and wait for your next client. Or you can come up with a creative idea of what else you can do with their hair. Now you do not want to push the client into it. You just want to make sure to give an option to the client in such a way that the client is most likely to want to at least try that option. For example, if the client comes in for a haircut, there are a few things that you can probably think of that will fall into the category of something that will complement the haircut. For example, a deep conditioning treatment. Now, this is where you're going to have a very difficult time, and I think a lot of stylists have a difficult time trying to upgrade a haircut to a deep conditioning service. Most of the stylists explain to the customer about the benefits of the deep conditioning service and how much time and money it takes to perform it. And even though they're 100% right, that is still not going to sell that service. The client will feel like you're pushing it on them, and the client will feel like it's another item that they will have to add on their bill where they originally expected to only have 1 item. So for example, in this case, the Summit system suggests to tackle both of those problems where it benefits you as a stylist and your customer. Instead of trying to explain what a deep conditioning service is right off the bat, you want to sit them in a chair and ask your client, well, I see you here scheduled for a haircut. Now, would you like to have a regular cut, or would you like to enjoy the treatment haircut? Of course, at this point, your customer is most likely to ask you what a treatment haircut is, because it's not a very common term. As you can see, now the tables are turned. You're no longer pushing a service onto your client. You're simply answering their question on what the deep conditioning treatment really is. And therefore, the client feels that you're educating them rather than pushing another service. Also, as you noticed, I called it a treatment haircut. So this is not a deep conditioning service that's added on top of the haircut. It is an upgraded version of the haircut. So the customer doesn't feel like they have to pay for yet another item. They feel like they're upgrading their service to something better and worthy more money. Now, the client is more likely to say yes. Now that you've determined that you can offer deep conditioning treatment or other services to a client with a haircut, you will enter the number of potential amount of money that you can make out of this client. Now, you will not always reach that goal or that number. However, now you have a number to reach for. The higher you aim, the higher you jump. Now, the second part of the tracker is filled out after each client or after all of your clients are done. And now you want to total up your performance, your numbers at the end of the day. You want to make sure to specify how many services you've performed, how many of them were chemical services, how much you made in service, and how much you made in product numbers. And probably one of the most important numbers is whether or not you rebooked your client. I will talk about how to rebook clients in a different video, but it is extremely important to keep track of it. In many salons, like my salon, the share of the new clientele that you will receive from the salon will depend on how successful you are with your rebooking rate, because the salon wants to give most of their clients to somebody who is most likely to keep those clients. So therefore, it is important to keep your rebooking rate high. And of course, your rebooking rate means that your books are busier, your time is worth more, and you are guaranteed to make a certain amount of money in 1 or 2 or even 3 months. And that is what successful hairstylists are all about. So hopefully this makes sense. Hopefully this math doesn't scare you, but you will find out that it will actually help you to know where you stand, will help you make more money out of the clients you already have in your chair, and also plan your next week and next month and understand the numbers that you want to reach.